Hi, my name is Kees. In this video, we're going to talk about what do you do after understanding non-duality. I get some questions of people that are well versed in non-duality. They really get awareness, or they get consciousness, or they get non-duality, that there is nothing but this dependently originating in every moment, fresh. They see that this is actually one experience, the empty fullness, the formless and the form. But they understand it intellectually. They still experience separation. They still experience themselves as a person in this. And why is that? Well, it's actually quite clear. Understanding non-duality is another belief set, is another mindset, is another idea. Non-duality or truth is another idea. And the whole thing we want to do is let go of our ideas on the mental landscape. And on the emotional landscape, we want to meet whatever is there. In order to be free from suffering, which is what enlightenment is, in the deepest layer, or liberation, I should say, is, in order to stop suffering, we need to learn how to stop creating suffering, and we need to learn how to transmute or clean up our old suffering. Both sufferings and the cleansing of those is important. To go from understanding spirituality or understanding non-duality or consciousness to actually being that. Sort of, you are already that, of course, but actually you could say having the experience of that, or truly becoming enlightened. And that has to do with the cleansing of that suffering. First of all, how do we stop creating suffering? It's by letting go of our thoughts and meeting our emotions in the moment. And it takes actually a certain mindfulness, a certain distance or concentration to be able to meet that. And you do that with actually having a spiritual practice. For example, having meditation as your practice, or having something where you're reflective, where you're seeing your thoughts clearly and you're building a sort of awareness of what happens inside you. When you build that awareness and when you see in the moment thoughts come, I can let them go. Emotions come, I can be with them, or they can cleanse themselves in this way. Then what we can do is, and what we will see is that, for example, with meditation or with life in general, it will trigger your old karma or your old shit, you could say, past pains. If we can deal with the pain in the moment, then at some point the pain from the past will come up. And you deal with that similar to how you deal with that pain in the moment. And that's by letting the thoughts be there, but not trying to attach to them. Just saying, you're more than welcome. I see you. And also, similarly with the emotions, trying to meet them. And especially in the emotional and energetic realm, there could be a lot of things still hiding. Transmuting that will give more and more lighter sense to the body, more freedom sense to the body, and at some point all boundaries between inside and outside will melt. And when this melts, we enter actually true non-duality, experience non-duality. Not as a theory in the head, not as an idea, but will become consciousness, you could say, and no longer the bodily awareness, but the consciousness of everything. This whole process, you could say, the experiential process, is by recognizing how we suffer, by holding on to thoughts, ideas, by becoming those, by identifying with them, by attaching to them. And through that, we've accumulated all these energetic, emotional, and mental or thought-based ideas. And these beliefs, again, have often three components: an energetic component, an emotional component, and a mental component or a thought-based component. And all this, or this, you could say the shit you've accumulated, in order to be free, or to really be free experientially, we need to let that go. We need to work with that. And that's a process that can, for most people, take years. So the difference between understanding non-duality and actually becoming non-dual, becoming enlightened, the body, the mind, becoming one experientially and feeling like oneness all the time. And that's actually a certain sensation, and it's also taken further, say it's freedom from suffering. You have to do something. That's the strange thing in this, because if you follow a lot of non-dual teachers, or especially in the radical scene of non-duality, what they're saying often is, even though these guys have a lot of experience with meditation usually, they're saying like nothing is needed, no practice is needed, you need nothing at all. And that's in a way that's totally true, but for somebody that's starting out on this path, it's very hard, because if you're not aware of your thoughts, if you're not aware on how you're making yourself suffer, then that's not really productive advice. And it's good to understand that you can let your thoughts go, and with this, a lot of conditioning can also let go. I think that's very valid. It's valid advice to say what there is nothing at all, and we can just relax, and we don't have to do anything, and we can let our thoughts go. I think that advice is great, but I do think it's incomplete advice, because the other piece which is missing is the whole thing of, okay, but how do I then cleanse the emotional and energetic space in order for me to actually feel non-dual or feel free from suffering? And oftentimes these guys have also spent a lot of time meditating or trauma releasing themselves, or cleaning out this space, you could say, with practices. And for them, maybe the only thing which was still holding on was this mental piece of, I'm still not letting go of thoughts, I'm still striving to become something. So dropping that then creates sort of, let's go for them of the final barrier. But that's not that it's not relevant, or has never been relevant for them to cleanse out this emotional energetic space with different practices. And what people need is different in this. But let's say just letting go of your thoughts in this moment creates freedom in this moment. But how that is felt, you could say, has to do with how much conditioning or how much karma or how much beliefs are still left and somewhere in the mental, emotional, energetic body, mind. And that's something we can explore, and that's something we can work with. And you can feel freer instantly by just allowing your emotions as well to come up and to be with them, and not make them into a problem, just like your thoughts. Don't believe them, don't need to do anything with them, but let them be there, and also respect this natural cleansing out, which is going to happen. If you understand non-duality, then this is your opportunity to practice it and integrate it into the body-mind, into what you're doing, and starting to meet your emotions, starting to meet your feelings, starting to meet the energies that you're noticing, and not shying away from them, but understanding that the resistance that is still there is the only thing that's between you and actually the thing that you really are, which is everything and nothing. Much love to you. And if you have any questions about this, or you're working on this yourself, you can schedule a free coaching call below, and we can just have a chat, and I can tell you about how I work, and I can give you some free advice, and we can just meet up. Let me know if you're interested in that, then we can meet. See you soon, hopefully. Bye bye.